Good evening, everyone. Happy National Women's Month. Super duper excited to invite my guest tonight. Let's see. Hello, beautiful.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy you are here.
Me too. Thank you for the invite. It's
You're
been a long
welcome.
day, so excuse me.
I
It's
understand.
been quite a time over the last few weeks. So yeah. How are you
I feel
doing?
you. I feel you on that. There's been a lot going on too. Busy,
Yeah.
busy, but I think it's the energy of this year that we have to move forward. We need to push through whatever we need to push through
Yeah.
and keep fighting for our dreams and not allow whatever is going on to stop us.
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
So welcome to
Thank you.
Egyptian Princess 8 Digs into Dreams with the lovely, we're going to go with Tai Chi, right? That's what we're
Yes.
going with.
Or Diana. Either way, people know me with both names. So
That's right. That's right.
yeah.
Well, I'm very excited you're here and to share this conversation with you and just ask questions and let the audience get to know you a little bit better in case, there's certain things they don't know.
Okay.
But I'm going to start with your bio first. I'm going to read your bio and then we will get into it.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, who is Tai Chi? Tai Chi is an entrepreneur, mother, poet, shamanic, right? Is that how it's said? Shamanic?
Shamanic.
Okay. Oh, shamanic. That's right. Guide, intuitive life and sex coach, a Los Angeles native who has taken her loving spirit as a light worker to cultivate a very successful business in colon hydrotherapy, which focuses on the purging of toxins from the body while generously offering emotional guidance through the cleansing process. 10 years invested in her business still offered her space to raise two lovely daughters and invest in charitable endeavors. As part of her spiritual expansion and extension of healing her clients, Tai Chi has been trained to serve Anurin. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Anurin? Oh, Anurin. I'm sorry. Anurin Amazonian remedies guiding men and women to awaken, empower, and heal themselves. A poet and spoken word artist as well. She has colored many different aspects of her life through the eyes of poetry. Delving into the public sharing of her gift, she has been a frequent contributor in the Los Angeles spoken word community. Another aspect of her expansive interests, Tai is a participant, advocate, and mentor in the sex positive and kink BDSM communities as well. Having participated in these different realms, she is of open mind and spirit that best enables her to understand in a no judgment zone environment, to hold space for and nurture those that come into her guidance to their own personal transformation. The physical, mental, and spiritual growth she has discovered therein has allowed her to reach greater heights and grander clarity in the sharing of all the rest of her gifts. Wonderful. Yes,
Oh, thank you.
that is very, very true. You have such a wonderful presence about you that whenever I've come in contact with you from day one, you've just always been super kind, and your heart space is just huge. And so that's one thing I've always felt from you. You've always been so kind to me. You've always been just generous and loving, and definitely like someone I admire just poetically. That's how we cross paths through our poetic journey. So
And mirrors,
yeah.
we're reflections of each other. So thank you. I see you. See, yes, pieces.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate that. Um, so let us get into the questions.
Okay.
So when did you know it was your passion to become this coach, this type of coach?
I think I've always been a coach by default. From a
Mm-hmm.
very young age, I was like that kid that adults came to.
Mm-hmm.
So I initially thought out of high school I would go to college to become a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but then I didn't like the medical clinical version of that. And by
Yeah.
default, um, I've always been that for everybody in my life. So once I opened my practice as a colon hydrotherapist, by default, again, I became a therapist, an emotional mental therapist for my clients as they were purging and cleansing their bodies.
Right. Right.
So that evolved into the medicine that I serve. And, um, having participated in the BDSM community, that also allowed me to understand different versions of people, different um, sex positive environments. So I'm a lot more open minded, more understanding, and sometimes, trauma and pain are really your best teachers. And
Yes.
I just happen to have a very, I guess, well rounded aspect of the way that I look at things, and people relate.
Yes.
And they gravitate towards what I may have to offer as advice. So um, I'm happy to offer it. But in my profession, that has become more and more a frequent thing that I do now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Who would you say are some of your maybe influences, like your personal gurus that you trust?
Um, wow. Big names. I mean, when we're talking about big names, it first started. I think my own personal journey started with a book called Conversations with God, and that really freed up the the restraints and constrictions that I was raised with, in certain different types of, because I was raised with like three or four different religions in my family. So being able to tune into everyone and just going, that doesn't feel right. Then I read Conversations with God, and that opened up a whole new world.
Right.
Once that came in, I ended up going to Landmark Forum, which is a very transformational type of workshop, and I participated in that program for over 2 years.
Mm.
Um, from there, it's not. I've never really latched on to a one person per se.
Okay.
Um, it's just the teachings of like breaking down, shedding, and then having these big aha moments, these big epiphanies, right?
Yes.
And then, of course, you look at, different singers and different artists that would influence, Maya Angelou, and you're looking at Mary J. Blige, who I was a big
Right.
fan of as when I was a younger teenager, and things like that. Um, Aretha Franklin and Frida Kahlo, and just when I'm looking at some of these rebellious type of spirits or people that have been broken and gone through the fire and come back, of course,
Yes.
how is that not going to inspire you? But I could definitely say I too have gone through my own fire, and I have no choice but to, haha, sink or swim in the fire. But so
Right.
coming and emerging out of that and going, okay, I get what I need to do next, and
Right.
just being more explosively willing to really expand my horizons. And I remember after I graduated from the Landmark Forum, I jumped out of a plane.
Wow.
And once I jumped out of a plane, that changed my whole perspective on a lot of things. So from there, I started to look into entrepreneurship, because I felt like as a woman of color, working in the corporate world, that didn't work for me anymore. I did that for 8 years. And then I worked as a personal assistant, and I worked in the domestic capacity, and being someone's service, or personal assistant, being someone's maid, being someone's housekeeper, laundress, or whatever, working in that capacity. I'm like, okay, this is not fulfilling, and I don't feel like I'm And of course, it's very humiliating because some people in that industry are not nice at all. So that really prompted me to um, step out of my own comfort zone and open up my business. And then from there, I've met fantastic people along the way that are not celebrities, that are not well known, but they have been so inspiring that,
Right.
um, you know, every person that has touched my life has allowed me to create something to pay forward to someone else.
Right, right. And that's something that you do. I mean, even with me, you allowed me to have my artwork and my all my products and different things in your space, and it was so
Of course.
beautiful just to have that honor. So thank you so much
Thank you.
for
Yeah,
yes,
of course. We want to support. You know, especially us people of color, us that we're coming up from these communities that sometimes we don't have the equal opportunities that others do. Why not support each other? It's the only way
yes,
that we're going to reemerge stronger, right? And
right.
promoting each other. Hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that, yes, and that's something, like I said, from day one, you just have such a big heart space in, and it just every time it's the same. You never change. That's just your beautiful nature. So
Well,
it's
thank you.
really nice. It's nice to be around someone like that and know that they're completely genuine and that's who they are.
Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
think I owe it all to pain to stay humble.
I
Yeah.
understand that. I
Yeah.
understand. Yes. And I've noticed that even when you share your journeys with other people healing them, that you're helping them to get into that alignment to heal themselves, but you're going through it with them. You're really absorbing the pain. You're going through them through the struggle, through the, that transformation of awareness and the aha moments and all those things. You're going with them. So
Very
you go
much
in deep.
so.
Yes.
Yes, yes, very much
Yes.
so. And it's also finding a background of relatedness. We are all somehow able to connect with each other. We all have
Absolutely.
some sort of similar story that we can connect to together. So
Yes.
when we have that common ground somehow, then the
Hmm.
connection becomes more powerful, and also the surrender. You know, me stepping into
Yes.
the world of healing, people surrender more when they're like, oh, she's not this big shot guru know it all. She's just like me, but she's strong and she made it. And so that only gives them the inspiration to be like, I think I could do this too.
Right.
Why not, right?
Right. Absolutely. So let me ask you, let's just say someone comes into your store or your business, I just put it this way, your business,
Yeah.
and after experiencing what they've experienced with you, they enjoy the process, they enjoy who you are, just from one time meeting you. They say, you know what? I'd like to invest $10 million in you. What would you do with that money?
I would create healing centers in multiple places where I can continue to serve the medicine. But $10 million dollars is a lot of money also. So I would donate a lot of it. I would find charities that absolutely need it. Definitely in our communities and places where people of color are in dire need.
Yes.
A huge advocate for us as
Yes.
Black and Brown folks, Asian
Yes.
folks, those of us who are not always able. And I'm understanding some of these opportunities during the pandemic, right? Where some
Absolutely.
people have it easier than others and getting approved for a loan or getting credit or so forth. So, and I would definitely do my best to educate people on
Yes.
financial background.
Yes.
Yeah, the learning of financial education that we were never taught in school. It's
Absolutely.
so imperative for us to learn that as a community. And of course, because I'm such a lover and I have such a huge respect for the medicines that I serve. I would love for the whole world to do the medicine because it frees you. It completely frees you and gets you out of your own way.
Right. Right.
But yeah, all that to say, $10 million is a lot that you can do to contribute and pay forward.
Yes. Most
Yeah.
definitely. Most definitely. So share with us about your poetic journey. What pilgrimage have you gone on through your writing journey?
I think I wrote. I remember hearing like really easy songs like LL Cool J's I Need Love, and going, that's like catchy. And I was little when that came out, and I was just like, that's catchy. I really like that. And you do your best to learn it, and then you memorize it, and then it rhymes, and you're like, ooh, I like how this feels. And then you start trying to rhyme your own thing, and then you're like, okay, maybe the rap thing doesn't work for me, but let me try writing some poetry.
Right.
And you start looking into different poets like Sonia Sanchez and Rumi and Khalil Gibran and
Yeah.
Maya Angelou and all of these poets that you're just like, oh my God, I have a far way to go.
Hmm.
And at first it's like doing the typical rhyme. Everybody rhymes in their poetry, and then it evolves from there. And
Yeah.
then I started when I was married. I kind of left the whole poetry thing alone because it wasn't very much supported then. So
Hmm. Hmm.
I left it alone. And once I left my marriage, I started to explore poetry again. And I had already heard about spoken word and, going to these open mic nights.
Right.
And a place that I think you remember going to is One Mic Wednesdays.
Hmm.
Wednesday night, it was sometime in January of 2012. On paper, looking down the whole time, and my paper was shaking like crazy because I
Hmm.
was so nervous. And it was the first time that I actually read on a mic. And of course, it evolved from there. And it became more and more of a passion and writing all the time. And I started doing, features, and I started traveling around the city. And then I even created a BDSM poetry show where we did live BDSM acts on stage while we read poetry to the acts, and that was very adventurous as well. It was very beautifully put together. Um, and then I started doing it a lot, where I would show up every once in a while here and there, and then it's like the community kind of goes in waves. People kind of disappear, and then they come back, and they disappear. And then over the
Yes.
last few years, unfortunately, a lot of us who you and I are very familiar with, everyone just kind of scattered and disappeared for a while. And
Yes.
that's when I really stepped in deeper into the work that I do with colon hydrotherapy. And then, of course, my initiations and sitting with ayahuasca and sitting with the medicines that I serve now, that completely takes you on another field. Not to say I don't write, but it took me a while to write again. So I recently started writing again just to kind of feel my way back into poetry. I haven't performed live in a while, other than maybe like Clubhouse and that kind of thing. But it's always near and dear, and I always go back to read my stuff, and I still go back to my SoundCloud to listen to some of my old stuff or some of the stuff that our people in our community have written in the past, and it's just like we
Yes.
are a one phenomenal type of people, to
Yes.
come up with the things that we do. It's word is just it's such a potent part of magic,
Yes.
so
Yes.
it's never gonna leave me. Even if I don't
No.
always have time for it, it's never gonna leave me.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
And I know we did talk about that we have to collaborate and do something, and I think that we still should do that. Maybe this
absolutely.
year.
Let's do it. I'm totally down for it. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I think it'll be very exciting. I have ideas and we'll talk offline.
Okay. For sure.
So yes, because I think us bringing all our peeps, our reunion first, and just start inviting from the mass people that we've all now know in poet
Yeah.
circle, in music circle, in comedy circle, and all the arts, like who we would invite. We are going to grow the circle even more, and that's the most important. It's just connecting us as artists again, because we've been disconnected, and
Right.
COVID has stopped us from performing. It stopped us
Yeah.
from really being live. It's
Yeah.
one thing. I mean, yeah, this is great. Zoom is great. IG Live is great. Facebook Live is great, but it's never the same than when you see your people and you hug up on them and you get that spirit
Totally.
energy, like, you
Yeah.
feel, you know
And
what I
then you miss the snaps in the room,
Yes, 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 yes,
that part.
totally.
all of
That's
that,
right.
or just even the applause or the people coming to comment afterwards. I mean,
Yes,
it's such a high, or being able to just admire people, or showing up because that you're one of your favorite poets is showing up, and you're like, what are they going to read tonight? Like that.
yes,
We miss it, and I think we took it for granted because we
yes.
all dispersed, right, for a while, and then COVID hit, and it's like once COVID hit, we're like, oh, I kind of wish we could go back to that, and we can't. We're stuck in the house now.
We're talking
So
houses.
definitely a very humbling experience with COVID, because
Yes,
now we definitely appreciate what we had a lot more, for sure.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. And I think it's given everybody a chance to kind of like fine tune who they are, work a little bit more on certain things, develop certain crafts that they were kind of like afraid to develop. Now they kind of like, okay, let's go. What have I got to hold me back since I'm at home? I better work on something so that when I'm ready to come back out, I
Yeah.
have something to share.
And I think
So
we care less about what people think. I think now we're kind of like, dude, I just want to connect. I just want to be there
yes,
with you. Let's just
yes,
commune and just share and just, it's like, oh, I miss you guys, and
absolutely.
like recently I went to like this open mic out in South Central where my daughter wanted to sing, and it's so full of noise. And just to see people on stage and singing and rapping and doing their thing, and I was just like, oh my god, I forgot what that was like. And
Exactly.
forget who was better than whoever. It doesn't. None of
It
that.
doesn't matter.
Just share. Just be there with everybody else. It's so important.
It is. It really is. And also, even as the generations, like we all have a torch to pass to someone,
Yeah.
and they need our voice. They need like what we have to share to inspire them, to motivate them.
Yeah.
And that's really important too, because, just like you said in 2012, that's actually the year I met you. We met in December of 2012 at RIP Boutique when she was shutting it down.
Oh, the end of RIP. I mean, the end of the 2012.
That's
Yes.
when we met. Yes, yes,
Wow. Okay.
yes.
Okay.
And then Enova, Heather Parker, you were there. Yeah, there's like a whole bunch of people that, like that's where that all came, that whole,
Yeah.
it's like, so yeah, it's very special. So that's a whole other like lifetime now. That's
Yeah.
10 years ago.
And it's funny
So
because
yeah,
I had always wanted to go to the poetry lounge, and I think I went twice. But the love in the room of One Mic Wednesdays
yes.
was just so off the charts. And
Hmm.
Alice, shout out if you're out there and
Right,
you've never
right,
watched it.
absolutely.
But it's like, wow, what she created in that little space was
Hmm.
phenomenal. And it connected us, a lot of us, for who knows, maybe a whole lifetime.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's
So,
amazing. It really is. It's amazing. 10 years, there's a lot. It's been a journey.
yeah.
So as we've
Definitely.
evolved as artists too, like that's why I'm saying passing on that torch, which leads me into this next question. So what would you tell your younger self that you wish you knew?
What would I tell my younger self? Don't be afraid.
Mm-hmm.
When you feel the most afraid and the most vulnerable, who cares what people think? Just do it. Just
Just
do
do
it.
it.
Just do it, because not to sound so cliche, but everything truly is outside of your comfort zone.
Right.
And who cares what anybody thinks? And there is power in vulnerability. The more afraid you are, the more powerful you really are. And
Yes.
that's what I would tell myself, for sure. And I
Yes.
wouldn't get married so young.
Oh yeah.
I was 21 when I got married. I was like, don't do that.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Mm. That is good advice. That is very good advice. And yeah, I don't know why, but I always feel like, yeah, getting married, yeah, I noticed that's, especially in my culture, that was something that kind of was wanted by certain people. Like my family tried to do the whole, oh, there's so and so, we could have, and I'm like, no, 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 you don't understand. I was born here. I do not want an arranged marriage. Thank you. And
Oh,
yeah, there's a couple
no.
of those that came at me, and I'm like, no, we're not
Oh,
doing it.
no.
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 So yeah, and that came, I was 19 with one of them. And I'm like, oh no, you're out your mind. So I was like, no, no, no. So I
No.
feel you. I feel you on that. That pressure to do things just because of, cultural things or
Culture. It
yeah,
was the thing to do, and it was like, well, sure, why not? I like you,
right.
you like me, we love each other now, and let's make it happen. And I
Right.
mean, not to say that there weren't any super valuable lessons and that there
Sure.
wasn't a lot of love there, but um, I, hindsight is 2020, but I would have explored more. I would have dated more. I wouldn't have like stuck to one person more. I
Yes.
definitely would have expanded my. I would have tried the buffet. I didn't try the buffet. I should have had a buffet first.
Hey, I understand. I understand. That makes sense.
But
That makes sense.
15 years later, I finally got my buffet and I got to, feel who I really am as a woman as opposed to being a wife and a mother. Those are two, very separate identities from being
Mhm.
a woman and feeling yourself and having your own desires and your own likes and not
Right.
having to wake up feeling obligated to take care of someone else other than your children or whatever. So it's been fun. Honestly, it's been fun since then. I feel like I've lived so many different lives,
Hmm.
between Landmark and Conversations with God. I was
Yes.
allowed to completely just throw myself out there and live as loud as possible. And then, of course, the medicine catapulted me.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Do you want to share a little bit about specifically about the medicine now, or do you want to wait till later, or how do you?
Yeah, we can wait. Whatever
Okay.
you want.
What? No, no. I'm open. Whatever. If you ready to talk about it, or whenever you want to share.
Um, I mean, ayahuasca, I work with psychedelic medicines and I don't serve ayahuasca, but ayahuasca was huge for me and one of the most brutal journeys I've ever had, but it was very revealing about what I was responsible for creating and what others created that were painful, that was traumatizing, and why it happened. And it gave me a deeper compassion and understanding for why things happened the way that they did to me and to them. Because I got to revisit the pain of everybody in my life on the planet, in the ocean, in the Amazon. Like one by one, 7 billion people, I got to feel the pain of everybody and understanding what pain feels like from so many different billions of aspects.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it really builds a lot of compassion and love for people overall.
Hmm.
And of course, I work with Combo. Combo is a medicine that I serve. Combo breaks apart the lower energies. So people who have PTSD and are suicidal, have panic attacks, um, anxiety, head chatter, negative head chatter, a lot of self-sabotaging, um, a lot of this, or you feel like you always have bad luck, like, oh, that doesn't happen to me, I have really bad luck. All of those things, stagnation, it lifts it. Of course, it's an immune boost too. And Combo is a very, very powerful medicine. It comes from a tree frog in the Amazon jungle. And we go through our own training and initiation. And yeah, and then there's another medicine called the toad, which is a God molecule. And with that medicine, we get to go and feel the true essence of love and God, literally. And you get to experience your own death. And once you experience that, it's a game changer. Like you will never look at your life or other people's lives the same way again. You know, the labels, the cars, the houses, the zip codes, none of that stuff matters. It all falls apart. It's all an illusion. So you definitely look at people for who they are and love them and just go, oh my God, you're going through your journey, no matter how mean or how much you're a-hole about it, you're amazing, no matter what, because you're playing your role in your own movie right now.
Right.
Um, Having that type of compassion really allows me to love from a pure space and understanding, especially COVID pandemic. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm so in there with folks right now.
Hmm. Hmm. Yes.
That's pretty
Yes.
much it. I mean, if there's other medicines that I'll serve in the future, I don't know. I always want permission from the medicine. If the medicine allows me to or
Hmm.
wants me to, then I am communicated that. And then
Right.
at some point, we'll see. But right now, those are the only two medicines I'm serving.
Okay.
Hmm.
Wow.
But ayahuasca, game changer too, for sure.
Mhm. Hmm. Okay. Well, now you heard it here. Definitely contact Tai Chi and you can find out further details and get her information. We'll go over that, of course, your website and all that, where to find your information so that they can definitely contact you for
Okay,
further guidance. Yes,
thank you.
you're welcome. So who's the one person, since you've gone through that death experience, who's the one person, living or dead, that you would like to spend the day with, and where would you go?
Ooh, one person that has already transitioned.
Living or dead, it's up to you.
Okay, Prince.
Yes.
Prince had a very
That's right.
he
I
had
know that's right.
um a very in between worlds type of existence where
Yes.
he understood the ethers, but he understood what it was like here. And I'm learning how to navigate in a very similar fashion. So I would love to pick his brain, especially because he was such a genius at playing all of the instruments that he played.
Right.
He was channeling. All of that stuff was channeled. And I channel too. So when I channel things, it's just amazing the information that's able to come through. But to see it from such a genius perspective like him, I would absolutely want to have that conversation with him
Mm-hmm.
because he finally detached from the illusion of the money and everything. Even though he knew the celebrity status that he was,
Absolutely.
he
Absolutely.
understood the
Hmm.
journey of every human that it was here.
Yeah.
So gaining that post perspective, not early Prince, but later Prince, that conversation would be phenomenal.
Where would you take him?
Where um, I would actually serve him the toad. I would serve him a
Wow.
medicine and take him to the other side and
Wow.
have him feel what what we experience and then see what he creates after that. Because
Mm.
it would completely, I mean, he's already catapulted to a level that most of us would never reach.
Right.
I would wonder what this would do, or he would just say, "Oh, I already knew all that." So it would be
Right.
just be, interesting to see what type of journey that would create for him, and
Yes.
what knowledge he would bring back with him.
Yes. Absolutely. Wow, that's a great person to select. You're the first person to say him, so that's awesome. No, it's a great answer, and that's yes, definitely.
Yeah.
What advice would you give as the type of coach that you are? Because you deal obviously with mind, body, spirit on many levels.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you tell people? It's still early in 2022. What would you tell them on this journey of life? What advice would you give them?
To work on passion, to find your passion. Again, with the vulnerability, it's scary, it's unknown. We,
Yeah,
we literally are in a space energetically and spiritually where we don't know what tomorrow is.
right.
We don't even know if we're going to have cash tomorrow. We don't know what this country, if this country is going to be this country anymore.
Yes,
So I would say, by any means necessary, live according to your passion and create. Right
correct.
now, what I loved about the pandemic, it was a blessing in disguise because it was the mass, what did they say, the mass exit because people quit all of their jobs. Nobody wants to go back, which I thought was phenomenal. And people started creating. People started to say, well, I've always wanted to do this. I think I'm just going to give it a try.
Right,
that
right.
that right there, everyone needs to continue with.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
Most definitely.
being vulnerable, no matter how crazy it sounds. And I'm one to be a huge advocate, not only because I am an entrepreneur, but because I see the freedom that comes from being able to um, work at what your passion is, as opposed to working for someone else and it's someone else's idea.
Correct, correct.
I don't feel like I work. I live at work because I love what I do. And yes, I have to bring it down so that I have my space for myself, which
Right.
I'm not great at yet. But I love what I do, and I'm constantly talking to people, and I have fun.
Right.
So it never feels like work.
Right.
It really truly, and then once you do that, then the money comes. The money becomes abundant. The more
Right.
happy you are with what you do, the more you're serving others, which I feel that all of us eventually will need to do, the more abundant you'll become.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay, so let's get to fun facts.
Okay.
Give me three favorite foods, three favorite desserts, three favorite genres of music, and your three favorite colors.
Okay. Three. Can we do the first one again? Three favorite foods.
Yes, your favorite foods. Three favorite
Uh,
foods.
in order from. Okay. I will say Thai food.
Mm,
Yes, Thai food. I would have to say, not because I'm biased, but Salvadorian food, soul food.
nice.
Yeah. Not that it's the healthiest, but flavor wise, yes.
Flavor is everything. I'm with you. I'm with you. Nice. Desserts.
Ah, whew. I'm not that much of a dessert person, but I love creme brulee. Creme
Ooh,
brulee
nice.
is definitely up there.
Yeah.
Tiramisu is definitely up there. Um, and good old coffee ice cream.
Hey, okay. Yes, yes. Jamocha almond fudge is the bomb. That's pretty good.
Yes.
That's pretty good stuff. A good mud pie is good. Yes, it has that nice coffee. A good tiramisu is at Trader Joe's, just FYI. I know I shouldn't be dropping names, but at the same
I
time,
haven't had it, but I've had
you,
it the one from Porto's. Porto's is
oh, I'm sure that's off the
oh
chain. I'm
God,
pretty sure that's a whole other level by itself. But no, Trader Joe's, it will not fail you. I'm just telling you
okay.
now.
Duly noted.
Yes, yes. So, and then your three favorite genres of music, and then your three favorite colors.
Oh, that's music. It's hard because I'm biracial. I'm multicultural. I mean, hip hop, R&B. I think I'll put into one category, and then salsa. You know, I grew up dancing salsa, and
Hey,
then reggae, dancehall.
yes,
At least
yes,
those are the first top,
right?
and of course there's everything else in between. But if I had to go, my go-to are definitely there.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay. Three
And
favorite colors.
colors, um, blue, turquoise,
Yes.
and let's see, blue, turquoise, green. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Well, it's always good to know the fun facts.
Yes. I mean, you know, the thing is, it's like I've been able to see colors that I've never seen on Earth before. You know,
Wow.
through the stuff that the
Yes.
medicines that I work with. So it's
Yes.
kind of like I don't know how to describe that anymore. You know, because
Sure.
you do get to see visuals that you're like, I've never seen this on Earth before. It's beautiful.
Right. You're
Hmm.
seeing beyond. So it's
Correct.
a little bit, yes, your visions are different than everybody else. So that makes
Yeah.
sense. That really does. Wow. I think just an idea with that, you may want to sit with some canvas after a particular, experience, whenever you feel inspired. That might be something you might want to sit with, just a canvas, and put some of those colors out there just to even, explore.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been a painter, or I had my short little stint at drawing when I was younger, when I was a girl, like a little girl. But you know, it was like, I think it was the insecurity that didn't want me to explore it further, so I
Mhm.
kind of left it alone. But you
Right.
never know, paintbrush and some canvas. Yeah. The smell of canvas, the smell of paper, paint,
Yes.
it's poetry on its own.
Yes, it is. Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yes. Wonderful. Now, I would love for you to share some poetry with us, and whatever else you want to share with us as far as who you are. Is there something you want to bring and share with us besides the poems, please feel free. This is your platform right now.
Um, I think because we are in a very vivid time of living out loud and shedding and kind of recalibrating who we really are. We're breaking away from the norm. We're breaking away from the labels. Um, I'm just a huge advocate for the mutable aspects of who we are becoming. I'm already a very mutable sign. I'm a Virgo, so I'm very fluid in a lot of ways, hence why I'm bisexual and I love women as much as I love men. And also being polyamorous, where I've explored polyamory and had, more than one partner, and being able to find that I truly can love more than one person. It's fantastic to be able to open your heart to more than one person and not feel isolated to just one, or having to be restricted because of what faithful looks like. Faithful can be polyamory as well, just different rules. And just being open to explore. I feel that because of the restrictions that we were raised with in religion and, societal norms and traditions, we are afraid to, or we have been afraid to explore, and allowing ourselves to open up sexually. Not necessarily that you have to open up to the opposite sex, but to allow yourself to really step out of the boundary of what you think regular sex is, and just being able to explore, and body positivity, and embracing what you look like naked, no matter what size, shape you are.
Yes.
Because sensuality is a language all its own. So it actually, diminishes what you think you see in the mirror, and actually allows the other person or persons that you may be with to explore you from the senses rather than the visuals. And then that really allows you to completely surrender yourself. And I think that's where we should all be headed. Because there is a potency that opens after that takes place.
Wow.
So that's my take.
Okay. Were
So,
you? Yes.
yeah, I mean, and that's pretty much it. It's just allowing people to open up, again, dealing with spirituality. Everything's a vibration, everything is a frequency, so we can actually feel ourselves molding into something brand new that we're not familiar with. So
Right.
just encourage everyone to do that, And of course, if you want to talk about it a little bit more, let me know.
Right. There, yes, it's a safe place with you to be open, and yes, people can come to you to explore everything. So that's a very important aspect of who you are, and it's a gift that you have, that so people can feel safe and come to you with that. So that's important. Yes.
I think being that which I wish someone was there for me for. So opening that platform for others who so desperately need that space also, it's very rewarding to see that we could open that space for someone that way.
Right. Absolutely. Were you going to share some poetry with us?
Sure.
Yay.
1, 2, what would you like me to do?
Please take your time. Absolutely share with us.
Okay. I have a couple here.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Wait.
And actually, can you hold on one quick second?
Sure.
I just got to check on something really, really quick. 1 second.
No problem. So our guest is coming back. Tai Chi will be with us shortly. She's going to share some wonderful poetry with us. I'm excited. And she'll definitely share her website and all their information, how to get in touch with her, and connect on the different levels that you may need, mind, body, and spirit. And so she'll definitely share all that at the end.
Okay. So this is an unveiled skeleton is keyed. An unveiled skeleton is keyed into its own personal brand of wandering and lust and grandeur of mischief, pulling random stars from the evening sky, only to flicker them back into a pulpit of testimonial rants of passion and bliss. We should only be so daring into the nudity of our thoughts and vulnerability, backs arched into a perfect cradle for whispers to incise with precise caresses and definitive calm. We must lie in a bed of cooled roses and audacious thorns, roll from one side to the next, imprinting and penetrating to release the wounds from their angst, addressing them with the hearts and minds. I want to sip slow, never breathing shallow or amongst or arrogance, inhaling with the privilege I afford for myself. So with my nose to the winds and compass to the northernmost blue star, I take a vow and curtsy to the moon.
Ooh, nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
I
like
got the snaps too.
That's so beautiful. Wow.
Thank you.
I felt it. I felt the whole, just the journey of touch and just the feel and where the person needed to be and just that was beautiful. Very fluid. Just so lovely. Wow.
Thank you. I feel good. I haven't done that in a while. So thank you for allowing me the space.
Yes. Yes. Yay.
Would you like to hear another one?
Please.
And then I have a final thought, if that's okay.
Oh, absolutely. Take your time.
So this is kind of like more on the kinkier side. This one is called Heretica. Tides of gore intrinsically fuse with sweat pooling at my knees, tickling at my feet with a serenade of sorrow as it ebbs away, reaching for a dream etched at the shores of pain, gleaming at me through the corners of cragged lips. And the stains of a crooked smile I loathe hard, wading in waters, drawing in the thirst for more. I need to bite and sink my teeth into something meaty and thick. I need to scream from that abysmal pit and call on the ancestors. I want to hate again and be at peace with it. I want to peel back my skin and reveal who I once was, who I was born to be, and I want to be ugly through the confines of the night. Let me drool in power. Let me raise hell and let me fight it and put it to rest for good. God damn, I want to reveal the real me. If beauty is needed, let it shine in truth, not to the detriment of me. Let me forsake sweet tales of a perfect destiny because I want to and need to live right now.
Wow. Wow. That was powerful. Oh my goodness. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes. Wow. Okay. That's awesome. So awesome. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
I've always enjoyed your poetry. I mean, every time I've heard you at the open mics, like there was just always such a power and a deep energy with you that, and even romantic energy and just all kinds of things, but it was always really pretty. I always enjoyed your work.
Thank you. I always want to inspire romance. People don't have romance anymore.
I know.
You know, the slow dancing, the making out in the corner at the club, and
yes,
you know,
girl. Yes.
Some of the things my children tell me how kids approach each other nowadays. I'm like, really? I'm like, oh,
such a bummer.
You know, it's like, let's bring that back. That the sensuality, the senses, the touch.
Yes.
Taste,
yes.
You know, the favorite colognes and the favorite perfumes and, you know, the handwritten letter and, you know, the touch on the back of the small of your back, and then having that lingering, indelible feeling of like, oh, I want to feel that again. You know, that sappy love stuff. We need to bring that again.
Yes.
So I try to write from that perspective. Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I write from that perspective too.
And we should. We should.
We should.
These are words or spells, right? So this is how we can infect others.
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes. The finesse of love is so rich, and people don't explore it to the full degree that it can be because they're so scared. The wall's up,
Completely.
and they're afraid to be vulnerable. They're afraid to be just soft. It's just easier to be aggressive sometimes, and it's like, wait a minute, let's be soft. Let's
Yeah.
pull back,
I mean,
pull back.
look, I've had my heart broken. It's been stomped on, torn to shreds, and then I managed to put it all back together. And I can honestly say I'm not afraid of love.
Right.
I love love. Like,
Me too.
what a fun journey. Even if we're getting your heart broken, what a beautiful journey to know I knew what it was like to love someone from that perspective, from that depth, from
Yes.
to be addicted and just
Yes.
yeah. I
Yes.
mean, nobody does that anymore.
No, no. And just the euphoria that goes through your body of all those emotions. It's so powerful.
It
Just
really
this,
is.
yes, yes, we're on a completely different high that is natural. It's natural. It's just in your spirit. You're feeling it because you feel alive. Someone has sparked this energy in you. So, yeah, yeah, I completely agree.
Precisely. And it is like a spiritual journey because you go through these valleys, these highs and lows, and you're just like, whoa, you have a different awakening about yourself and
Yes,
things that you never thought you would have felt all of a sudden are awakened and brewing, out loud within you.
right,
And then you
right.
get to see and feel and hear things that a lot of people don't get to experience. So
Mm.
it's love is phenomenal for
It
sure.
is. It is.
Hmm.
I always say it is better to have loved than never loved at all. I agree with that.
Absolutely.
I quote that quote. I like it because it's true. It's true.
Absolutely.
There's nothing like love. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes. Yes. So you had a thought for us?
Yes.
Yes.
This is for everybody. So, when you realize that your life has become monotonously ritualized, from breath to every step you take, when something stops you in mid track and makes you pause to wonder what you've been doing all this time, all these seconds, minutes, hours, days, and years, when you wake up next to the ones you love and see less recognition of who they are and much less who it is you see in your own reflection. It is your highest self that is stepping in to nudge your eyes open, your mind to shake free, and your body to lust for a new zest of breath. We must remember. When we sing simply by writing a hook, write poetry in rhythm and cadence, when we dance with no choreography to guide, when we pour raw emotion for on camera theatrics, when we cook without calculated measure, when we speak in the absence of mind and only pure heart, when
Yes.
we are able to surrender in the creativity that spirit brings forth to channel all that divinity that has been residing in us forever, we are exercising our truest form of freedom.
Yes.
In a time when we've been told how to breathe or have been obstructed from doing so, when we are being programmed to walk in sheer numbness to all of our highest proclivities, when we are being made to believe that we are incapable and inadequate in the decision making of our own lives, it is then that urgency must rise within us to rebuke all prohibitions, inhibitions, and limitations. For we are so stupendously colossal and awe striking
Mm.
that we must dig deep and remember just who we are.
Yes.
Rise, my loves, rise in the passions of your own divinity and watch how in your own ascension you will remain invisible. And there's this other word to those who don't serve you, and unapologetically beautiful to those who truly see you. So, do we get it? That was my love tap to everybody.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Absolutely. I receive, and I'm sure everybody listening is going to receive that because it's a needed, definitely love tap for sure. Wow.
Especially.
Yes. Yes. Wow. I'm so excited that you were able to join me today. And I want everybody to know how to follow you. Please share your information. How can they follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram because I think people are kind of veering off of Facebook a little bit.
Yeah.
So, Instagram, you can find me on Spirit Perv Radio. And you can also follow my medicine page, Quantum Leaps 1111. And if you're interested in colon hydrotherapy, you can follow us at Complete Trinity.
Okay.
And then all contact information is there.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have a website?
CompleteTrinity.com. And then, the other ones are kind of just my websites for right now.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Just so people will know where to be able to find you. Do you want to add it maybe even in the comments or something? If you want to type it in, you can just so that they can see. You can add a comment. That way they'll.
Sure.
Yeah, that way. Yeah, in case 'cause I know someone's saying they wanted to find that information. So yeah, I want to make sure. Yeah. Awesome.
This
Well,
is the first one.
uh-huh. There you
And
go.
Spirit Per Radio is already on there. Everyone tuning
Right.
in. And
Right.
then my medicine page, definitely here on IG would be this one.
Quantum Leaps.
Yeah.
1111. Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Wonderful. Well, I just have to say thank you so much for being here and celebrating National Women's Month. I'm honored that you were one of my guests this month because you're a phenomenal woman and just such a wonderful spirit. And I just enjoy who you are as a person, as a woman, and who you stand for because you have a healing heart, and that's so important. And the more people that are out there that want to heal people and be there, that's so critical to have people like that in our lives. So I'm very thankful to know someone like you and just to have you be one of my sisters that I trust and I know over these 10 years. It's been so beautiful because like I said, every time, I've seen you, it's like we pick up where we left off. We don't have gaps or anything and not at all. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
And definitely kudos to you because as long as I've known you, you've always been so supportive. You've always been there. You've always created or shared your art with us, your poetry with us. The beautiful items that you make for us. I mean, it cannot go unnoticed because your work is beautiful as well and phenomenal. So
Thank you.
You come
Thank
from a
you.
pure space of love and you've always supported. I've always seen you mention others all the time. And that can't go unnoticed. Like you really are a very special lady.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. That means the world. Thank you so much. This is so important to me. Why this whole thing is Dig Into Dreams with artists because we need to be seen and heard and we've been suppressed. And having this one-on-one conversation, I feel like we just need to celebrate each other. We need to give people their flowers while they're alive. And this is a way that we can do that. And I feel honored just to have that conversation with you and be able to keep it recorded and other people can watch it later. They can hear some wisdom that they need. And that's why I always like that question about like, what do you tell your younger self? Because I know we're passing on that baton to someone younger who needs to hear advice, who needs to hear something. And there's so much coming at us. So I feel like it's so important to have just these conversations to who are we? Who really are we? Because you get on the mic for 5 minutes, but you don't know the person unless you actually go to coffee or break bread or do something later. You don't really know the person other than, wow, that was a dope poet. Oh man, that musician was fire or whatever. But you don't know the person. And that's so important is for us to peel the layers. Let's get in there. What's going on in there?
That's my favorite because, a lot of times as artists, we have this persona or this facade that we walk around with. But when you really allow, or that person allows you to dive deep with them and you get to really discover them, discover some amazing things or not. but it's always good to have that journey with someone and discover them fully from behind the scenes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, because it's definitely not all smiles. It's definitely not all, what do you call it? The sun is shining, the sunflowers, the birds are singing. It's not always like that, unfortunately, because we're human. We get upset. We get, things frustrate us, and that's part of the layers of who we are, and we have to accept that that's what makes us artists too. Is our pain, is our frustrations, and
Yeah.
that's also how we create some of the poems that are like, they're ripping guts and glory and all that because it's like, okay, it needed to come out.
Yeah, that
So,
guttural
yes.
stuff is so necessary, and
Yes,
we're,
yes,
we're all afraid to have those guttural moments and have
yes,
those guttural moments out loud.
that
So
part.
yeah, very
Yes,
necessary.
yes, most definitely. Yes. Wow. Wow. This was wonderful. I'm so excited that you are here. Thank you so much for sharing and being the light and love that you are. And I pray that continued blessings just, pour over you and your family, your beautiful daughters, your sister. I've got to meet all your wonderful family so far, the ones that I know. And they're so amazing too, every single one of them. So shout out to them and much love to all of them.
Thank you.
And yes, and I look forward to definitely, we will connect, we will coordinate something because I have some ideas.
Okay.
So,
Hey, I mean, I tell everybody, look, it's not that I don't want to do this stuff. It's just that I have so much fun working that I
yes,
forget to plan other stuff.
sure,
So I'm like,
sure.
you want to hook up, you want to like go and create, pull me because otherwise I'm going to forget. I'm just going to
Right,
keep going.
right,
So
right.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I need to. I need to reconnect with other
Yes,
people other than work circumstances. So
yes, yes. And we need more of your writing and poems to be shared, and that too. That aspect of you is important because I'm pretty sure there's a book in the making that needs to come out, and you need to start collecting them and getting that in motion too.
I don't know. I don't know, but that's very nice of you to say. I haven't really explored the thought. I've been asked a couple times, but I've never really taken that on. I don't know. I've heard of like phenomenal poets in our community who've written over 3,000-4,000 poems, and I'm just like,
Right, right,
they need to
right.
write a book, not me, because I've written, but my poetry is channeled, so I don't
Yes.
just write to write. Like I
No,
if
no.
it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it
Right,
doesn't.
right. But it doesn't mean that it cannot be a collection of 20, 30, 40, or whatever. You know what I mean? Because it's not the amount of poems that are in the book, it's what the content is. And there's a lot of richness in your poetry. So don't underestimate those words not to be in a book that someone may need to read, someone may need to be healed from. So even if there's 20, 30, 40, 50, I'm looking probably 50 easily, if not more, for sure in there. But don't underestimate that.
Ashe, receive. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Yes. Yes. If I can do it, I know you can. So that's for
Again,
sure.
it's a matter of like, Diana, look, come here, do this. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. Otherwise, I'm this colon hydrotherapist and medicine woman. So
Right,
yeah,
right.
but I do miss it. I'm not gonna lie, I do miss it, and I wonder. I'm like, ooh, when was the last time I wrote? Ooh, I need to write something again. So,
Yes,
mhm.
yes. Wow, wow.
So
It will. It's coming. It's
yeah,
coming. I
it's
believe it.
definitely coming.
Awesome. Well, happy National Women's Month to you.
To you as well.
And thank you. Thank you. And thank you for being the gift you are to me and to everyone. And may God continue to bless you and all the people that you touch and heal and help to find their journey and be healed as well through their self-discovery. So I pray that God continues to help you prosper in every aspect of your life and your family.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Beautiful.
Well, blessings to everyone. Thank you for joining us. And
Blessings,
hope you have a
everybody.
great evening. And we'll be continuing with National Women's Month. Another lovely lady will join us on Sunday. I'm not going to share until my flyer comes out. So just letting you know, surprise, surprise, there will be another on Sunday at 7 p.m. And then on the 29th, Tuesday 29th. So 2 more guests for this month. So I'm very excited. And I'm so happy that you joined me tonight. So thank you so much, Diana. I appreciate you. Much love,
Thank you.
sis. Blessings to you, Queen.
I'll see you
And good
soon.
night, everyone. See you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.